Male loneliness epidemic is caused by dudes bullying their friends. Trash take, L take. I bully my friend Toby all the time and he loves it, right Toby? You're not a little piss baby like kid over here, right? No, I'm not a piss baby. I love when you're mean to me. That's right, because we're not females. We're not females. Toby, are you okay? What? Are you okay, Toby?
Hey y'all, Lumi here. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at some TikToks about the male loneliness epidemic. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but it's been making rounds in the news lately, and especially on social media. And it's basically about how men have found it difficult to make new friendships or maintain friendships, and also relationships. I think they kind of tie in together. Although I've also heard that there's like a dating a problem too. I don't know if the two are separate or not, but to me they kind of sound like they fall in a similar category of just like men struggling to maintain healthy social relationships. Anyway, let's take a look.
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is.
Have you guys watched Naruto? It's a serious point, and I'm gonna get there. Just let me cook for 2 seconds. Do you guys know that scene between Sasuke and Naruto? Naruto's like, I also don't have a family. It doesn't mean I have to become evil because I don't have a family. And Sasuke's like, you wouldn't get it. I had a family, and I lost it. You don't know what it's like to have something and lose it. Basically, the point is just like, you will miss something more when you had it and then you don't have it anymore, versus never having had it. And I think trans men have the unique experience of having been perceived as women and having this like connection with other women. And so I think trans men definitely are going to deal with that pain way more than cis men will. Not to say that like one is more valid than the other or anything like that. In my opinion, this video has less to do with being a trans man and has more to do with being a man.
Yeah, that must be rough to like first like to be raised as or a female, right? And let's say you're a trans man, so you like transition into being a man, to see, I guess, like the other side after going through or after seeing like the societal norms of being a woman pushed onto you, and then becoming a man and like having the societal norms of being a man pushed on you, like that must be so polarizing. I just can't imagine it. Like as a man, it takes like I'd say most adult men have had to put up with all this stuff like their whole lives, so it's taken them their whole lives to be shaped into who they are today. But to like, if you transition, I mean, yes, it takes years, but I mean, it's years compared to lifetimes, right? My point being, it's a much shorter and condensed period of time where you know, you get to see like the other side of the fence, and that must be so jarring, right? I think I heard a story about this woman, this biological woman who transitioned and then became a man, and I think she was so shocked by like what it's like being a man that she ended up like unaliving herself. Like it was that bad. Like, I don't know if that's true or not. Like, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but pretty sure I heard that somewhere. And it's just like, dang. Like, it's no joke out here.
This whole thing about like the male loneliness loneliness epidemic pisses me off so much because, like, it is completely self-inflicted. It's not a male loneliness epidemic. It's a male, I'm too lazy to put in emotional labor epidemic.
The reason men are lonely is because societally they are not allowed to open up and be vulnerable, share their emotions, and that makes it very difficult to develop deep relationships. But women, on the other hand, when we open up and share our feelings, we are welcomed with open arms. But how would you feel if you were a man and you opened up to your partner, cried in front of them, shared your insecurities, and you were met with disgust? Because that is the reality that most men face in relationships. Men barely have anyone say anything nice to them in their lifetime. Men are taught to do everything alone, and their self-worth is deeply tied to their personal accomplishments or their job. And now with social media and dating apps, I think it's hard for both genders to find someone that actually wants to be faithful. But especially for men, we have to admit that it is harder. Them finding a good woman that values true love over his income or his height or his looks have lowered significantly. So babe, they aren't lazy, they're just tired. They're tired of feeling like a burden to others, they're tired of being played and used, and they're tired of women posting videos like this confirming their biggest fear that they can never be vulnerable with anyone. So men, from another woman's perspective, I see you, I hear you, and I hope that you still believe that there are good people out there that are attracted to a man's vulnerability.
Yeah, I think the biggest irony, like she's spot on here. The biggest irony I've seen about all this is like I saw it when I went on TikTok to research this topic. A lot of women were completely like bashing the whole male loneliness epidemic, basically saying like it's men's fault. And it's so ironic to me because the whole point is, well, I mean, in one regard, I wouldn't say it's the entire point of the issue, but in one aspect, it's like, well, men are lonely because they feel like they can't express their feelings, and whenever they do, they're met with hostility or disgust. And that's kind of like what these women are doing when they hear about the male loneliness epidemic. They get on social media and they start ranting about it and you know, calling it out and saying it's fake, or men just need to, you know, open up more and blah blah blah. But they're doing that, and they're literally being met with hostility. So the whole thing's just like, man, like it's pretty screwed up.
Everyone's talking about this epidemic of male loneliness and how this plays into like the manosphere and turning young men into incels. And I have a thought. Like, you'll hear guys say, I can't meet other guys, or when I do, they're like really into Elon Musk or crypto or something. And my thought is that this has to do with where men are meeting people. Like, if you're meeting guys at work, or I don't know, where do you meet people? On video games or something? It's not going to be good. And not to toot my own horn, but this has never been a problem for me. And I think it's because of art. Meet people in creative spaces, at shows and at readings. These are people who are making music, who are big readers, who have interesting and insightful things to say because they're in a space of vulnerability and tenderness and wanting to create things together, and they're not bogged down by all the bullshit going on in the world. These can't be incels. So find these spaces in your communities. They exist everywhere. And this is not new or novel. People have said art will save us forever, but in this particular moment, it's worth pointing out.
Yeah, I think it's important to surround yourself with the right people, because, you know, misery loves company. And if you're, I mean, I noticed this, I mean, I wasn't like super bad or anything, but I noticed this happening with me is when, like, one thing I wanted to do was start this YouTube channel because I wanted to put myself out there. I wanted to be creative and, you know, hopefully create like a little community where I can share things with you all, and we can all, you know, kind of just chat in the comments, or maybe eventually a Discord or something. You know, meet new people, basically. And I think he has a point here. It's important to put yourself out there, go out, meet new people, do new things. yeah, like he said, involve yourself in like art. You know, that's a big one. Surround yourself with creatives, other creatives. But another thing I want to mention is yeah, depending on like who, like the male loneliness epidemic, I think is partially or mostly due to other men, um, and the relationships we have with other men. Like, oftentimes it can be very toxic, and um, you know, I think it drives people away. It like drives people who might be either more sensitive or they have more self-respect, and they just don't want to put up with the BS. So they'd rather just like isolate, you know? There's more I wanted to cover on this subject, so I'm going to make another video, part 2, but I'm going to wrap this one up here. Leave me a like if you like this video, dislike it if you dislike it. Let me know in the comments what you think or if there's anything you want me to cover next. Consider subscribing if you enjoy this sort of content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.